Hare Krishna. We welcome all of our YouTube live listeners and our Facebook live listeners. Welcome to all of you to this session 49 of Sri Bhagavatamrita. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Nama Pankajanabhaya Nama Pankajamaline Nama Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajanghreye Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Aradhya Bhagavan Vrajesha Tanayas Tadhama Vrindavanam Ramya Kachidupasana Vrajavadhu Vargena Vakalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam Prema Pumartho Mahan Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhur Matamidam Tatra Dharana Paraha Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Radhanatha Swami Niti Namine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swami Niti Namine Nama Acharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayine Gaurakatha Dhamadaya Nagara Grama Tarine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukham karoti vachalam pangur langayate girim Yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurung Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna, welcoming again all of our Facebook Live listeners and our listeners over YouTube Live. Welcome all of you to session 49 of Sri Bhagavatamrita. So before proceeding, we would like to congratulate all of our participants who have participated in the quiz session from the previous session, session 48. From Facebook, we would like to congratulate Ranjani Gopika Mataji, Shweta Suryanarayanan Mataji and Meena Mataji. Congratulations for participating over Facebook, over YouTube. We'd like to congratulate Janeshwar Gauranga Prabhu, Geeta Varadarajan Mataji, Hari Krishna Madhali Prabhu, Vijayata Mataji, Varshana Chitra Mataji, and Shweta Suryanarayanan Mataji. Congratulations to all of you for your wonderful, enthusiastic participation in the quiz. And thank you to all of you for your beautiful comments and your online association here with us. So without further ado, we will start our section today. Today we are going to cover 3 chapters of Srimad Bhagavatam 9th Canto. This is going to be chapters 6, 7, and 8 of the 9th Canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So these are all, now we are building up. Srila Shukadev Goswami is building up the memento for the appearance of Lord Ramachandra. So now the predecessors of Lord Ramachandra are being discussed here. So chapter 6 is entitled The Downfall of Saubhari Muni. So here in this particular chapter, after describing the descendants of Maharaj Ambarish, Srila Shukadev Goswami described all the kings from Shashada to Mandhata. These are, the next chapter describes the glories of and the descendants of Mandhata. So, and in this connection, Srila Shukadev Goswami also described how the great sage Saubhari Muni married the daughters of King Mandhata. So that's going to be discussed here in this chapter today. So Maharaj Ambarish, it is said, Shukadev Goswami starts his narration by saying that Maharaj Ambarish had 3 sons, namely Virupa, Ketuman, and Shambhu. The son of Virupa was Prashadashva, and his son was Rathitara. Rathitara had no sons, but when he requested the favor of the great sage Angira Muni, the sage begot several sons in the womb of Rathitara's wife. When the sons were born, they became the dynasty of Angira Rishi and of Rathitara. So we'll see this kind of thing happening, that how by the intervention of the sages, the descendants, are coming about. Then we see Shukadev Goswami is explaining, again to give a little bit of a prelude, he's saying the son of Manu was Ikshvaku, who had 100 sons, of whom Vikukshi, Nimi, and Dandaka were the eldest. The sons of Maharaj Ikshvaku became kings of different parts of the world. And because of violating some sacrificial rules and regulations, one of the sons, which was Vikukshi, was banished from the kingdom. And by the mercy of Vashishta and the power of mystic yoga, Maharaj Ikshvaku attained liberation after giving up his material body. And when Maharaj Ikshvaku expired, his son Vikukshi returned and took charge of the kingdom. And he performed various types of sacrifice, and thus he pleased the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this Vikukshi later became celebrated as Shashada. So Vikukshi's son fought with the demons for the sake of the demigods, and because of his valuable service, he became famous as Puranjaya. Indravaha and Kakutsha. The son of Puranjaya was Aneha. The son of Aneha was Prithu. Now this is just technical details, so please bear with me. So sons after sons after sons are being described here. And the son of Prithu was Vishwagandhi. The son of Vishwagandhi was Chandra. The son of Chandra was Yuvanashva. And his son was Shravatsa, who constructed the Shravastapuri. The son of Shravasta was Brihadashva. Brihadashva's son was Kuvalashaya, killed a demon named Dhundu, and thus he became celebrated as Dhundhumara, the killer of the demon named Dhundu. So like this, the descendants are talked about. Then we are talking about the son of Krishnashva was Senajit, and his son was Yuvanashva. Yuvanashva got married to 100 wives, but he had no sons, and therefore he entered the forest. In the forest, the sages performed a sacrifice known as Indra Yagya on his behalf. And this way, he was able to then get a child. Then Mandhata, we are talking about Shukadev Goswami, then talks about Emperor Mandhata. Mandhata became the emperor of the world, and he ruled the earth, which consists of 7 islands. Thieves and rogues were very much afraid of this very powerful king. And therefore, the king was also known as Trashadasyu, which means one who is fearful to even the rogues. That was the celebrated name of King Mandhata. So it is said that Mandhata begot several sons in the womb of his wife, Bindumati. And these sons were Purukutsa, Ambarisha, and Muchukunda. Now, this Ambarish Maharaj is different than the Ambarish Maharaj that we talked about previously in connection to the Rasa Muni. So this Ambarish is different Ambarish, the descendant. So these 3 sons had 50 sisters. So therefore, Mandhata not only had 3 sons, but he also had 50 daughters, all of whom became the wives of the great sage known as Saubhari Muni. So this is how the connection to Saubhari Muni is now established by Srila Shukadev Goswami. So in text 39 and 40 of this chapter, Srila Shukadev Goswami describes the history of Saubhari Muni, who because of sensual agitation, which was caused by the mating of some fish which he saw, he was meditating underwater and he saw some fish. This is explained in text 49. This is explained in 39 and 40, that how Saubhari Muni was sitting inside the water meditating and he saw 2 fishes mating, and that aroused some desires in his heart, for which he came and approached King Mandhata, who was the king at that time, and he approached the king and he said that I want to marry your daughters. Please give me your daughters in marriage. So because he was, under the water, he was looking very old and rugged. And by his mystic potency, he actually transformed himself into a very young, beautiful, handsome, man. And King Mandhata gave all of his 50 daughters in marriage to Saubhari Rishi. It is explained. Then a very important point is mentioned here in text 49. It says that thereafter, one day while Saubhari Muni, who was expert in chanting mantras, was sitting in a secluded place, he thought to himself about the cause of his fall down, which was simply that he had associated himself with the sexual affairs of the fish. So he was just contemplating that why did I have this kind of a fall down? Why was I attracted by looking at these fishes? He was just contemplating after his marriage to the 50 daughters. So Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport, Srila Prabhupada quotes Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur remarks that Saubhari Muni had fallen from his austerity because of a Vaishnava aparad, because of offense to a Vaishnava. And the history is that when Garuda, the greatest, eagle bird carrier of Lord Vishnu, when Garuda wanted to eat some fish, Saubhari Muni unnecessarily gave the fish shelter under his care. So Saubhari Muni sheltered the fishes whom Garuda wanted to eat. So because of this, Garuda's plans for eating were disappointed. Saubhari Muni certainly committed a great offense to a Vaishnava. Because of this Vaishnava aparad, an offense at the lotus feet of a Vaishnava, Saubhari Muni, Srila Prabhupada explains, that Saubhari Muni fell down from his exalted position of mystic tapasya. So the fishes themselves became the cause for his fall down. Srila Prabhupada explains. So Srila Prabhupada concludes in the purport by saying that one should not, therefore, impede the activities of a Vaishnava. This is the lesson we must learn from this incident concerning Saubhari Muni. Such a great lesson we learn. That, now we may ask the question, oh, Garuda, he is violating the regulative principle of eating fish. How can a Vaishnava eat fish? We can ask this question. The Garuda is an eagle. He's a bird. He subsists on eating fishes and snakes. That's his food. And he offers them to Krishna before he eats. So that is how it is explained, that we should not misunderstand, that why was Garuda eating fish. But that is his, that is his prasad, basically. But because Saubhari Muni unnecessarily, Srila Prabhupada uses this word, unnecessarily Saubhari Muni, he interfered in the actions of Garuda and the fish, unnecessarily. And he unnecessarily sheltered those fishes. And thus, Garuda's plan of eating those fishes was interrupted. And that was Vaishnav Aparad. That was offense to Garuda. And because of this, Saubhari Muni fell down. Can we imagine this? That when we offend Vaishnavas, when we stop the services of a Vaishnava, how much offended does Krishna feel? That, a devotee can have a fall down, a mystic yogi of the level of Saubhari Muni fell down because of this minor act. It's a very minor act. It was an unnecessary act. Srila Prabhupada says this. It is unnecessary. But still Saubhari Muni got the reaction for that. So that is how we must be so careful of Vaishnava Aparad, that we should be so mindful of it, that, rather than always contemplating that, oh, I should not commit offense to Vaishnavas, oh, I should not do this, I should not do this. Let us, think positive by saying that let us glorify the devotees. Let us glorify the service of the devotees to their spiritual masters. Let us try to, if we are not able to, assist, at least let's not impede. Let's not stop the services of another Vaishnava. That is the greatest kind of offense that can ever be done, which is unforgivable in the eyes of Krishna. So we must be very, 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 very careful. In fact, one of the senior disciples of Srila Tamal Krishna Maharaj was sharing with us that Tamal Krishna Maharaj, whose appearance day is tomorrow, his Vyasa Puja is tomorrow. And Tamal Krishna Maharaj always said that there should be nothing in this system of ISKCON, that Srila Prabhupada never wanted a devotee to leave ISKCON. So we should see to the situation that how we can see and protect the devotees, that they should never ever leave ISKCON. We should enhance the services of, devotees so that they can continue to render their services and never leave ISKCON. That is the desire of such great souls. So we must try to be very mindful of this fact of committing this kind of offense to a Vaishnava. So later, Srila Prabhupada writes, it is mentioned by Srila Shukadev Goswami that Saubhari Muni actually became very regretful of his act of, acting on the basis of his sense gratification. So text 52 says, in the beginning I was alone. Saubhari Muni is regretting, and he's saying that in the beginning I was alone and engaged in performing the austerities of mystic yoga. But later, because of the association of fish engaged in sex, I desired to marry. Then I became the husband of 50 wives, and in each of them I begot 100 sons. And thus my family increased to 5,000 members. Out of 50 wives, from each of them he begot 100 sons each. So Saubhari Muni's family was 5,000. He was alone, and now it's 5,000. So Saubhari Muni is continuing to say that by the influence of the modes of nature, I became fallen and thought that I would be happy in material life. Thus, there is no end to my material desires for enjoyment in this life and the next. So, Srila Prabhupada says that this is what happens, this is the kind of realization that every sincere seeker of the spiritual absolute truth gets. That why did I waste my life? Why did I engage in some unnecessary act? So rather than, engaging in the act and repenting on it later, it is always better, Srila Prabhupada said, that a first-class intelligent man is he who hears it and stays away. That is a first-class intelligent man. A second-class intelligent man hears it, but then unless he experiences it, he doesn't get a clear understanding of it. And a third-class person, although he engages, although he hears, he keeps repeating the same act over and over again. That is a third-class person. So Srila Prabhupada said, this Krishna consciousness movement is training people to be first-class Vaishnavas, first-class people, so that we listen to all of this and we stay away. We know how Krishner Sangshar Karo Chhadi Anachar, that we leave and give up all kinds of anachar, we give up all kinds of sinful acts and engage in the action of devotional service to Krishna with our family. That is the perfection of life. That is what Srila Prabhupada meant by saying that this Krishna consciousness movement is training first-class, Vaishnavas, first-class Brahmanas. That is the purpose of this movement. So that's why we have these Srimad Bhagavatam. We'll see in the subsequent chapters of this canto, there is a story of Maharaj Yayati. So many different pastimes are there, which can be sometimes mind-boggling. That why do these pastimes appear in Srimad Bhagavatam? These pastimes appear in Srimad Bhagavatam because so that we can hear it again and again and again and yet again. And it makes some effect in our life so that we don't commit the mistakes that they have done. We be very, very cautious of Vaishnava Parad. We be very cautious of our dealings with devotees. We be very cautious to always seek shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Sri Guru and Krishna. That is the purpose of life. That is the reason why these pastimes are in the Srimad Bhagavatam. That is the glory of Srimad Bhagavatam. So it is explained, this chapter concludes by saying that thus Saubhari Muni, he accepted the order of Vanaprastha life, performed very severe austerities, and thus he attained perfection. And his wives, his 50 wives, also accompanied Saubhari Muni in the forest, and they also performed austerities along with him. And in this regard, Srila Shukadeva Goswami actually mentions that how Saubhari Muni's wives became also very perfect, just simply because of their chastity to Saubhari Muni. And when Saubhari Muni attained perfection by going back home, back to Godhead, Srila Shukadeva Goswami mentions that his wives, although not having any spiritual attributes whatsoever, but just by following and serving their husband very nicely, very beautifully, they attained that same perfection. So that way Srila Shukadeva Goswami describes and concludes the pastime of Saubhari Muni. That brings us to the next chapter, the descendants of King Mandhata. So in this chapter, the descendants of King Mandhata are described, and in this connection, the histories of Purukutsa and Harishchandra Maharaj are also given. So Purukutsa, who was another son of Maharaj Mandhata, he actually got married to the sister of the snakes, the Sarpagana, and he was named Narmada. The son of Purukutsa was Trashadasyu, whose son was Anaranya. Anaranya's son was Haryashva, and Haryashva's son was Praruna. So like this, it comes down to the king, the son of Tribandhana. Tribandhana's son was Satyavrata, who was also known as Trishanku. Now, one time it is explained in text 5 of this chapter that Trishanku kidnapped the daughter of a Brahmana when her wedding was happening. And his father cursed him for this very sinful act. And Trishanku became a Chandala, which is worse than a Shudra. But later, by the influence of Vishwamitra, he was brought to the heavenly planets. But by the influence of the demigods and by the influence of the curse of his father, he actually fell back downward, it is said. And he was stopped in this fall by the influence of Vishwamitra. So therefore it is said that Trishanku is still, you can see him in the sky as a constellation, that he is, with his head downward, he is, falling downward like that. That is Trishanku. So the son of Trishanku is Maharaj Harishchandra. So text 7 says that Harishchandra once performed a Rajasuya Yagya, but Vishwamitra cunningly took all of Harishchandra's possessions as Dakshina contribution and chastised Harishchandra in various ways. And because of this, a quarrel arose between Vishwamitra and Vashishta. Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport that Vishwamitra and Vashishta, they were actually, these two personalities were always inimical towards each other. And formally, Vishwamitra was a Kshatriya, as we all know. Prabhupada explains this. And he says that by undergoing severe austerities, he wanted to become a Brahmana. But Vashishta would not accept him. In this way, there was always disagreement between the two. So later, when Vashishta accepted him because of some of the, Vishwamitra's quality of forgiveness, Vashishta accepted him. So like this, it is explained that there was always a, little inimical attitude between both Vashishta and Vishwamitra. So it goes on to explain that Harishchandra, Srila Shukadev Goswami goes on to explain that Maharaj Harishchandra had no sons. But on the advice of Narada Muni, he worshipped Varuna, the god of water. And in this way, he got a son named Rohit. Harishchandra promised that Rohit would be used to perform Varuna Yagya. Means he would be offered into Varuna Yagya. So Varuna always reminded Harishchandra repeatedly about this Yagya. But the king, Harishchandra, because of his affection for his son, he gave various arguments to avoid sacrificing him. So time passed and gradually the son grew up. But to safeguard his life, Rohit came to know about this arrangement. So he took up bows and arrows, and it is explained that he went to the forest. But meanwhile, Harishchandra Maharaj, he suffered an ailment, a disease, because of this attack from Varuna, because Varuna was dissatisfied with Maharaj Harishchandra. And when Rohit received this news that his father was suffering, he wanted to return back to the capital to help his father. But King Indra prevented him from doing so. And following the instructions of Indra, Rohit lived in the forest for 6 years. And then after 6 years, he returned home. And he made one arrangement. Rohit purchased Suna Sefa. This was a second son of a person named Ajigartha, and he gave that son to his father Harishchandra, and the father then sacrificed this Suna Sefa to Lord Varuna. So Srila Prabhupada explains it in the purport that this thing should not be considered anything otherwise. In the previous ages, these kind of arrangements were always done, that this is the kind of barter system. Srila Prabhupada explains that this is the kind of trading that would go on between the demigods and the people. That Varuna gave Maharaj Harishchandra fulfillment of his desire to have a son, but he wanted something in return. So this is trading, this is business. So Rohit also made this arrangement that with Suna Sefa he could, satisfy Varuna, and Suna Sefa's destination was also taken care because he was offered to Varuna. So his destination was taken care, and Maharaj Harishchandra, thus, he got rid of the disease that was, inflicted upon him by Varuna, and King Indra, becoming very pleased by the sacrifice, because Maharaj Harishchandra and Rohit, they both engaged in a sacrifice for the pleasure of Lord Indra. And Harishchandra was gifted a golden chariot by King Indra. And Vishwamitra gave transcendental knowledge to Maharaj Harishchandra. So thus Shukadev Goswami describes how Harishchandra Maharaj attained perfection. So this concludes chapter 7. It brings us to chapter 8. The sons of Sagara meet Lord Kapiladeva. So in this 8th chapter, the descendants of Rohit are described, who is the son of Maharaj Harishchandra. So in the dynasty of Rohit, Shukadev Goswami explains that there was a king named Sagara, whose history is described in relation to Kapila Muni and the destruction of the sons of Sagara. So the son of Rohit was known as Harita, and the son of Harita was Champa, who constructed a township known as Champapuri. The son of Champa was Sudeva, the son of Sudeva was Vijaya, the son of Vijaya was Bharuka, and the son of Bharuka was Vrika. Bahuka, the son of Vrika, he had, give me 1 minute. Yes. So it is said that this Bahuka was the son of the son of Vrika, was greatly disturbed by his enemies. And therefore he left home with one of his wives and he went to the forest. And his wife, he actually died in the forest. Bahuka died in the forest. And his wife wanted to actually accept, Sati. And she also wanted to enter into the fire along with her husband. But when she was about to die, a sage named as Aurva found and told her that she is pregnant. So therefore she should not undergo sati. So the sage Aurva brought her back to the kingdom, but the co-wives of Bahuka gave her poison with her food because they got very envious that how come she's pregnant and not us. So they gave her poison. But still, by the desire of the Supreme Lord, it is said that her son was born with the poison. So therefore, the son was named Sagara. Sa means with, and Gara means poison. That's why Sagara. So following the instructions of the great sage Aurva, King Sagara reformed many clans, including the Yavanas, the Shakas, the Haihahas, and the Barbaras. The king did not kill them, but reformed them. So this was a glorious act of Maharaj Sagar, which was celebrated all over the planet. And then again, following the instructions of sage Aurva, King Sagara performed the Ashwamedha sacrifice. And the horse needed for such a sacrifice, it was eventually stolen by Indra, because Indra gets very disturbed when anyone performs Ashwamedha Yagya. Because Indra feels that this is a threat to me, someone wants my position. So Indra just stole that sacrificial horse. So King Sagara, it is explained that he had two wives named Sumati and Keshini. So while searching for the horse, the sons of Sumati extensively dug up the surface of the earth, and in this way they dug a trench, which actually later became Ganga Sagara. Because it was, this trench was dug by the sons of Maharaj Sagara. That's why it came to be known as Ganga Sagar. Today, the place near Kolkata, West Bengal, where we have the Ganga Sagar Mela. So this place was dug up by the sons of Maharaj Sagar, and that's why it's called as Ganga Sagara, in glorifying Maharaj Sagar's descendants. So in the course of this search, the sons of Maharaj Sagar, they were looking for that horse. So in the course of this search, they came upon the great personality, Sri Kapil Muni. And they mistook, and they thought that he was the one who stole the horse. They were just illusioned. So with this offensive understanding, they attacked Kapila Muni, and they were all actually burnt to ashes. So Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport that Kapila Muni, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he has no enmity towards anybody. So why were these sons of Sagara burnt to ashes? Srila Prabhupada explains that when anyone envies the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself or his devotees, then the fire within themselves burns them down. The fire of envy burns them down themselves. That's what Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport. So that's why the sons of Maharaj Sagar just burnt down by their own potency. It was not that Kapiladeva reacted and cursed them or anything. He did not do anything. Kapil Muni did not even intervene. It was just that Maharaj Sagar's sons, all of them, they mistook that, oh, Kapila Muni has taken the horse. And because of this envious and offensive attitude, by their own envy, the fire within themselves burnt them down to ashes, it is said. So, because of this offensive attitude of these sons of Maharaj Sagar, they were burnt to ashes. So it is explained that Keshini, the second wife of Maharaj Sagar, had one son named Asamanjasa, whose son was Amshuman. So Amshuman was the grandson of Maharaj Sagar. So this grandson of Maharaj Sagar, Amshuman, later went in search of the horse and his uncles also. The 50 sons of Maharaj Sagar. So Amshuman actually came upon Kapila Muni. Because he went also searching and he saw Kapila Muni. And Amshuman at that time, he saw both the horse, which was meant for the sacrifice, and he saw a pile of ashes. So Amshuman offered very beautiful prayers to Kapila Muni and glorified Kapila Muni because Amshuman was a very pious soul. And he understood that this is a great personality who is directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. And that's why he offered very beautiful prayers to please Kapila Muni. And Kapila Muni was very pleased by this genuine attitude and the prayers of Amshuman. And Kapila Muni said, yes, you take this horse. It is with me. Somehow Indra had it kept near me. So this horse is with me. So you can take it. And he returned the horse. But after getting back the horse, Amshuman still stood before Kapila Muni with folded hands. Amshuman did not say, please revive my uncles. He didn't say that. But Kapila Muni understood that Amshuman was praying for the deliverance of his forefathers. So thus Kapila Muni offered an instruction that the only way that your forefathers can be delivered, my dear Amshuman, is by the pure waters of Mother Ganga. So Amshuman, listening to this instruction from Kapila Muni and getting the horse, he then offered his respectful obeisances to Kapila Muni. He circumambulated him and he left that place with the horse. And when King Sagara, he finished his yagya, it is said, he thus concluded the Ashwamedh yagya, and he handed over the kingdom to Amshuman, and following the advice of Orva Muni, he then perfected his life and attained liberation, it is explained. So that brings us to the conclusion of this particular chapter. And tomorrow we will see how beautifully Prabhu will explain tomorrow that how Amshuman and his descendants, they beg for two Mother Ganges to descend so that the forefathers of, Anshuman's family, the sons of Sagar Maharaj, would be delivered. So we will talk about that tomorrow in tomorrow's session. And tomorrow's session will also be a very, very beautiful narration on the glorious acts of Lord Ramachandra. So please stay tuned for tomorrow's session. And at this time, we would like to share with you the quiz for today's session. We have 8 questions. The first question: what was the name of the wife of King Mandhata? Second, what was the real reason for the fall down of Saubhari Muni? Third, who stopped the fall of Trishanku? Fourth, who did Maharaj Harishchandra please to get a son? Fifth, what is the name of Maharaj Harishchandra's son? Sixth, what is the meaning of the name of King Sagara? Seventh, by the fire of which quality did the sons of Sagara burn? Eighth, who retrieved the horse from Kapila Muni? So let's see if there is any questions that we have. Yes, I see a question from Keshavi. So, does a Vaishnava Aparadh apply to husband and wife practicing devotional life? Sometimes verbal exchanges happen that disturb each other. Is there hope to escape punishment? Please explain. Yes, sometimes when in family life, we tend to take each other for granted. And we, out of our ignorance, we consider the entire world as Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, but we forget to recognize our spouse as Vaishnavas and Vaishnavi. So yes, we do sometimes, but there are sometimes arguments that happen between husband and wife, which is very natural. Srila Radhanath Swami Guru Maharaj says that, husbands and wives, when they fight, it is like children. He gives the analogy that husband and wife, they fight, just like how you see children fighting, that, oh, today you did this to me, you cheated me in my game, I will never look at your face ever again in my life. That's how children fight. And when the next day playtime comes, they're again the best of friends. So this is the relationship of husband and wife also. Very beautifully, Srila Radhanath Swami Guru Maharaj talks about this, giving this analogy to understand the sweet relationship between husband and wife. So yes, it is sometimes accepted and expected that husband and wife will have, heated arguments. There will be a lot of disagreements, but we must try that. Yes, sometimes we may do such things, but then what we do to other Vaishnavas when we commit offenses to them, what do? We beg for forgiveness. So we must try to do the same with our spouses also, that beg for forgiveness from them as well. We should beg for forgiveness and please them, because begging for forgiveness, remember, committing offenses has 2 variations to it. One is that the devotee feels offense. Second is that Krishna takes offense. So by begging forgiveness from the devotee, we get freed from the offense to the devotee. But what about Krishna? How can we get rid of the offense that Krishna has taken? By serving that devotee very nicely. And when that devotee becomes pleased with our service, then Krishna is happy. So therefore, we not only need to beg forgiveness from our spouses, but we also need to serve them in a way that we please them so that Krishna will be happy. And we can also be happy that way. So I hope this answers your question, Keshavi. That was a very sweet question. Next, we have a question from Rajeshwari Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji. If a beginner leaves Krishna consciousness due to some reason, how to bring them back to Krishna consciousness and who will be responsible for that? Well, if a beginner leaves Krishna consciousness, then I think this is a very specific question based on, what is the specific situation. But generally, I can just give a general answer to this, that if a person in the beginning stages is leaving Krishna consciousness, we should try and see that is there something that that person might have felt bad? Is it in relation to, it's mostly when people leave Krishna consciousness, it's, hardly because of the philosophy that they leave. It is because of relationships that they leave. Because they might have been offended by some, you know, either by us or by some other devotee. So if they are leaving, then it is our responsibility that if we can reach out to them and see, if there's any way of, clarifying the situation with them and then bringing them back. So that is definitely our responsibility if we have that kind of a relationship with them. Or we should try to reach out to some people who have that kind of relationship with them. Try to find out why did they leave and try to clarify if there is a misunderstanding. Because mostly it is because of misunderstanding that people leave. Or sometimes because of a genuine reason that has hurt them by the behavior of a particular devotee that they have left. So it is our responsibility to somehow or the other bring them back, because Srila Prabhupada always said that, Srila Prabhupada says that it takes buckets of blood to make a devotee, and we must be ensuring it over and over again that no one should leave the movement. Srila Prabhupada has built a home in which the entire world can live peacefully. So why should we let one family member leave? We should not allow that. We should try and bring them back, as we should give it our best shot. We should put our life to it, yes. So I hope this answers your question. Very beautiful question, Rajeshwari Mataji. Thank you for that. Prema Bhakti Lata Mataji, Hare Krishna Mataji. Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu. Based on this, can we keep Shivalinga on the altar? Being my husband from a Smartha family, he has been keen in asking this question. Very, very beautiful question. And I believe, Prema Bhakti Lata Mataji, I saw this question even yesterday during the Bhajan Sandhya time. But I'm so sorry we could not respond. We saw it after the session because we were a little away from the screen, so we could not see it. So I apologize that you had to ask this question again. But I'm really happy that you asked. And here's the answer for it. You see, I will give the example of my own family. My mother, she actually comes from a family of Shaivites. My mother's father, my grandfather, he actually gifted my mother at the time of her marriage, he gifted her a Shivalinga. And when my mother, started Krishna consciousness and started chanting Hare Krishna, she in fact asked this question to Srila Jayapataka Maharaj, our Guru Maharaj, and she asked him this question that now since we are worshipping Krishna, that is it okay for me to also continue to worship Lord Shiva? Or if you say that, because we know that if we worship Krishna, there's no need to worship any other person. But what should I do? Should I, we were in the Middle East at that time, and my mother was even agreeing to, do Visarjan, means to, put Lord Shiva in the ocean over there. So Srila Jayapataka Maharaj was very wonderful, and he gave us a wonderful way out. He said that Lord Shiva is Param Vaishnava, Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu, like you just said. So Lord Shiva, he actually is on a very, very high platform. So why should we, we should actually make arrangements as Vaishnavas, since we already have the Shivalinga, that we should, what he advised my mother to do is that set up a separate place for Lord Shiva, which is going to be lower than the position of Krishna on the altar and on the level of the acharyas. And then, we offer bhoga to Krishna every day. So after offering bhoga to Krishna, before mixing it into the regular, the rest of the prasad, from Krishna's plate, Jayapataka Maharaj said, have a separate plate for Lord Shiva also. And from Krishna's plate, take prasad and put it on Lord Shiva's plate. And then that plate of prasad of Krishna, offer it to Lord Shiva. Because Lord Shiva, he is so pleased when anyone offers him Krishna prasad. He was fighting with even Narad Muni to get a piece, a morsel of grain of prasad from Krishna. So Lord Shiva is very, very pleased when he is given Krishna prasad. And Jayapataka Maharaj told us, so in this way, you will get to take Mahaprasad every day. Because when a devotee of the Lord, when he honors prasadam, his leftovers become Mahaprasadam. So Jayapataka Maharaj told us that every day you can then get Mahaprasad. So till today in my mother's home, we have Lord Shiva Linga. Lord Shiva's Linga is there, and we have him right next to, our Jagannath's altar, and in a position which is lower than Lord Jagannath. And when we do Aarti, before we show the Mahaprasad to the Acharyas, we show it to Lord Shiva first. The prasad coming down from Krishna, we show it to Lord Shiva, and then we offer it to the Acharyas and our spiritual masters. And then the bhoga is first offered to Krishna, then the prasad is offered to Lord Shiva, and then we take Mahaprasad every day. So this is the way we can do it. I hope this answers your question. And this is also what is done if any of you have visited Rajapur Jagannath in Mayapur. Even in Rajapur Jagannath, there's Gopeshwar Mahadev. That Shivalinga is there, who grows by the size every single day, it is said, by a mustard size. He grows every day. And Jagannath's prasad is actually offered to this Lord Shiva in Rajapur temple every day, and devotees take Mahaprasad every single day. So if you have Shivalinga in your house, you can definitely continue in this same way. I hope this answers your question. Shweta Mataji, such a nice analogy given by His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, quoted here. Felt that. Well, thank you. Keshavi represented all of us and asked that question even before we thought about it. So thank you, Keshavi. Thank you, Shweta Mataji. Meena Mataji has a question. Suppose beginner is not convinced with our philosophy and saying that I could not accept Krishna as supreme, I will worship all demigods. I can't leave like that if beginner says. How to handle this? Well, if a new person is attached to worshipping demigods, there is no problem. Let them be attached. But Srila Prabhupada always said, even when he would approach people who follow Christianity, people who follow Muhammadan philosophy, even to them, Srila Prabhupada would just say that include the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We are not telling you to give up anything. Just include the Hare Krishna Mahamantra in your daily schedule. That's all we are asking. And then once they start chanting Hare Krishna, then Krishna will do what is best and inspire them and take care of them. So our duty, our job is just to make them chant Hare Krishna, Jena Tena Prakarena. Somehow or the other, Mahaprabhu said, just let them chant Hare Krishna. If they're attached to demigod worship, fine, it's okay. Let them be attached to demigod worship. Let's not tell them that, oh, stop demigod worship. No, let's not tell them any of that. Just tell them that, yes, continue your demigod worship, but just chant Hare Krishna along with it. So that way, I hope that will help. Thank you so much, Prema Bhakti Lata Mataji. I'm really thankful that this answer helped you. Sudesh Prabhu, can we also keep Devi photos below Krishna as my mother wants? Yes, in that same mood, you can definitely do that. That just make sure that they are not on the same altar. This was a specific instruction that they should not be on the same altar, but they should be on the side. You can keep them on the side. If you just have one table, then make sure that it's on the side of the table and at a position lower than Krishna's. As long as we take care of that, that's perfectly fine. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for your comments and always for your enthusiastic participation, Prabhu. Thank you for that. While offering, Rajeshwari Mataji, a question, while offering to Shiva, whether we have to keep tulasi. Well, the tulasi that has been offered to Krishna, that same tulasi, you're giving the prasad to Lord Shiva. So you don't have to keep separate tulasi. No, Lord Shiva is taking prasad. In fact, on Ekadashi day, we don't give grains to Lord Shiva. He does Ekadashi because he's Param Vaishnav. We give, my mother, she offers, some kind of a grain to Krishna, to our Jagannath, even on Ekadashi days. But that grain prasad is not offered on Ekadashi day. It's not offered to Lord Shiva because Lord Shiva does Ekadashi. So he's offered fruits and milk and, Ekadashi items. And then on Dwadashi day, before we do Paran, we first offer Jagannath's rice to Lord Shiva, and then we take that Mahaprasad and break our fast of Ekadashi. So that is the way we continue to do that. So even the tulasi, you do not have to offer special tulasi. No, you just offer the prasadi tulasi of Krishna. You offer that to Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva will taste that tulasi and give us as Mahaprasad. So I hope that answers your question. All right. Thank you so much again. And again, we really, really thank all of you for your online participation with us, for your online association. We are very grateful to all of you. And we look forward to eagerly seeing all of you again tomorrow in tomorrow's session. Thank you all so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. ISKCON Vartaraman Guru Vrinda ki jai. Jai Nitai Gaur Sitanat Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Thank you. Hare Krishna.